And my blank face is coming at you in 3, 2, 1. Hey everyone, I'm Roxetta and I'm back with another new video. The reason for my blank face is that I'm doing a first impression review of the all-new Urban Decay Naked Skin Concealer. When I walked into my local Sephora and saw this, I was just like, come to mama. These are supposedly weightless and very creamy, blendable, yada yada yada. As with all Urban Decay products, this is cruelty-free and paraben-free, so just putting that out there for you guys. I got the shade Light because my main purpose for this concealer is actually going to be under the eyes because it is such a weightless but complete coverage concealer and it's supposed to be light diffusing. I think it's going to be the perfect concealer for under my eyes, well, hopefully. But for today's purpose, I'll also be trying it on any little spots I have just to show you guys what the product does. Opening the product up now, it comes with a doe foot applicator, which is pretty hygienic. I mean, it's a lot more hygienic than having to put your finger in a product, if you know what I mean. It smells a little bit like paint, which is slightly concerning. But, I mean, Urban Decay products are obviously paraben-free, so yeah. Let's try this baby on. I'm first going to apply this to my under eye area, and I'm just going to make sort of a triangle shape like that. And I think this is the perfect shade for me. And I think I'll just blend this in with my finger because it is such a light formula. I think it will be fine with that. I've just applied that under the eyes now and I really love the coverage. It is full coverage and it just gives that really nice brightening effect, as you can see. Another thing I have to say is the doe foot applicator is literally the softest thing ever. It's a lot flatter than most that I've used and it just feels really soft on the skin, which is not that important, I mean, but it is a small touch that I think gets an A+. Now I'm going to go in and apply to any little spots and just see how this concealer works for that. As you guys can see, I have a spot right there and then a scar actually right there. Yeah, not the best place, but what can a girl do? So for this, I'm actually not going to use the doe foot applicator because I don't want to get the, you know, bacteria from my spots onto the brush. So I'm just using my finger for this little baby and blending that in. So I ended up applying about 2 coats of concealer to the spots on my face and I feel like it's about 90% effective on covering spots. I think this concealer is definitely a lot better for under eye circles, just to brighten up that area. I mean, obviously I love this effect right now on my under eyes. I think it's just so beautiful. It is light diffusing as the product you know, says that it is, and I think for that purpose it's just flawless perfection in my opinion. For spots, I don't know if I would go with this particular concealer just because light diffusing is going to bring more light to that area and maybe you don't want that for your spots, you probably don't. On first impression, I think this concealer is amazing for under eye circles. I have really dark circles under my eyes pretty much 365 days a year, but this was able to fully conceal them and get rid of any darkness. It's also a very brightening formula because of the light diffusion. It has a super creamy and blendable consistency, as you saw, so I'm hoping that during the day it doesn't start to crease or anything because that is one of the biggest problems that I have with my concealers, but I don't think it will because it is such a creamy blendable formula, but we'll see, fingers crossed on that one. Now I'm just gonna go ahead and do the rest of my face and see how this concealer holds up. I'm actually not going to be setting it with a powder because I really want to see just how the concealer itself holds up during the day. I don't want to, you know, help it out at all with any sort of powders. I really like the way that this concealer just blends into my makeup look and makes my under eye area look bright without being too unnatural, if that makes sense. So I'll check back in within the next few hours just to tell you guys how the concealer is holding up. It's been about 4 hours now and I'm so impressed with this concealer. I mean, it has not creased. Creasing is definitely my main concern when it comes to under eye concealers, especially because on my eyes they tend to crease a lot, and I'm just honestly blown away by the fact that this formula hasn't creased, and it just feels so lightweight. It almost feels like I'm not even wearing, you know, makeup underneath my eyes because it's just such a lightweight formula. Like I said, I love how natural it still looks during the day. It hasn't worn off at all. It still has that very bright-eyed effect, which I love. So I'm gonna keep on wearing this baby for a couple more hours and come back at the end of the day to see how it is still holding up. I mean, I have very high hopes for this concealer at this point because in 4 hours it hasn't worn off at all. It's still full coverage and it still hasn't creased on me, so that is amazing. Hi guys, so as you can tell, it's much later in the day, judging from this lighting. Yeah, my natural lighting is gone, so I'm making this more of a vlog style so that I can just hold the camera as best possible because this lighting is just not working out. But anyways, as far as the concealer goes, I'm so impressed. It did not budge. It is still full coverage, like 8 hours later. I just can't believe how good this concealer is, and it did not crease at all. I'm gonna try to do a close-up so you guys can see. Can you guys actually see this? Like, it has not creased one bit. I don't see one little crease. I think for this particular concealer, I'm gonna recommend it more for under eye circles because it is literally the best concealer for under eye circles I've ever used because it doesn't crease. It has those light diffusing properties and it also is still full coverage at the end of the day. For spots, I think it is okay to use, but there might be better ones that don't have those light diffusing properties because obviously you don't really want like highlighted pimples. But for me personally, I think this is definitely going to be my new go-to concealer. I just think it's amazing and I love how lightweight the formula is. I'm so happy I tried this product out and I hope this helps you guys. I highly, highly, highly recommend it. So that's it for this video, guys. I will see you in my next one.